evening with your CIGTV News Update. I'm Edlin Ruiz in for Donna Bush. In today's top story, Councillor Austin Harris has returned from a whirlwind training trip in London for his new position as Whip of the National Unity Government. In late January, the Premier's office announced Mr. Harris' appointment as Government Whip. At the same time, it noted that the councillor in the Premier's Ministry of Human Resources and Immigration was also taking up an offer to understudy for 2 weeks how the position functions in the House of Lords and House of Commons. Mr. Harris explains the role of the whip in the parliamentary democracy.
The role of the whip is fundamentally to ensure that government members vote together or in accordance with the government policies. So if the government is moving an education bill, if the government is moving something for the elderly, it is to ensure that members of the government, first of all, have an understanding of what the purpose of that bill seeks to achieve, to explain any aspects that members may themselves be a little confused, hopefully to get consensus and, of course, agreement with them. When the House is in session, it is to ensure that members are present for those important votes and, fundamentally, that they vote in accordance with the government's intentions.
The councillor was able to meet with the current whip in the House of Lords and the former government and opposition whip of the House of Commons. He explained some of the differences between the UK and Cayman Islands environments.
First of all, we have to consider the differences in size. The House of Lords has 800 plus members, the House of Commons 600 plus. Therefore, the office of the whip is much larger than would be developed in our context. They have, obviously, the elected members as the whips and deputy whips, but they also are afforded assistance through the civil service. So they have civil service helping staff those offices and obviously conduct the reports and set the meeting agendas, etc. Here in the Cayman Islands, I'll be fortunate that so far it'll be only me performing those tasks, but of course at a much smaller scale. I'm really only responsible for 5 backbench members, including myself. So I think that the role will be dramatically lessened for me, but no doubt the challenges will come.
He tells us how his experience in the United Kingdom would be used to develop the local role.
How I intend to use the information is exactly as we've managed to achieve so far through an open door policy, by treating our members as adults and with respect, by being transparent in all that we do. Certainly for me, it gives me the opportunity to be much more involved in the preparation of bills, the drafting of bills, understanding what we're trying to achieve and why, and then using that to communicate the same to other members who may have questions, leading to what I believe will be a successful outcome for the people of the Cayman Islands.
Councillor Harris expressed gratitude to government for the appointment and also thanked the Cayman Islands representative in the UK for facilitating the training opportunity. In other news, the RCIPS recently welcomed some new local recruits. The official swearing-in ceremony for 11 new local constable recruits was held in early February. The Commissioner of Police administered the oaths in front of his senior team. The swearing-in marks the beginning of 17 weeks of intensive training. Recruits who complete the program will receive on-the-job training during a 2-year probationary period. After a local recruitment drive, they were selected late last year following rigorous vetting, proof of documentation, a written exam, interview, and fitness tests. Officials say all new recruits are young and active members of the local communities in which they live and have expressed a keen motivation for a policing career. In our final story, Clifton Hunter High School brought together students and potential employers for its annual mock interview exercise on Friday. Each year, the exercise allows students to practice interview skills. The school invites employers to share job advertisements for entry-level positions. Students then research the company to which they have been assigned because of their interest. They must also prepare a cover letter and resume. Interviews last for 15 to 20 minutes with a further 5 minutes assigned for feedback from the interviewers. This involves discussing with students their application, the interview itself, and their choice of dress. John Gray High School held a similar exercise for its students at the end of January. As always, if you missed today's news updates, you can get all the details on our Facebook and YouTube pages. And of course, don't forget to tune into Radio Cayman's For the Record and Talk Today's shows. I'm Edlyn Ruiz. Have a good evening and thanks for watching.